Brian Breaker.
Your little whiny baby.
Bane.
Don't assume my gender.
Friends since the 7th grade.
You're just a bitch with his phone. F*** you.
Well, sort of. One professional wrestler and one rapper get together to talk movies, comics, video games, pro wrestling, and anything that makes you say, WTF.
Let's not talk about Bane's ooze.
Harry Potter erotica. Awesome in theory, kind of a mess in practice.
This is Breaker and Bane's Power Hour.
Yeah. Breaker and Bane's Power Hour. Yeah. Grab a monster, crack it open, let's go. It's time that we start the show, no hesitation, oh no. The most energetic podcast of all of the podcasts. So when you listen to the show, you know that it kicks ass. So when I smash on these cowards like Mario did to Bowser, with the best thing you've encountered since suspenders on trousers. To all the haters, say howdy, make a believer from doubters. Put in the steak in the shower, Breaker and Bane's Power Hour. Yeah, hello. Hello. Welcome to the show. Yeah. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are rolling sound as episode 373 of Breaker and Bane's Power Hour.
Wait a second, it's not 372?
It's not, because 371 doesn't happen twice.
It wasn't Groundhog Day.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Boy, I threw myself off with that one.
Yeah, you sure did.
Well, so, like, what happened is I basically, when I get the board, I kind of write down all our topics, and then I erase, like, the last number.
Yeah,
And, you know, if it's a 1, I turn it into a 2.
of course. That's
Unless
how,
it's-
how numbers work.
Exactly. Unless it's, once we get to 380, I will erase the last 2 numbers.
Yes,
But that 3 will be up there for a while.
for a while.
And and so I didn't write the 2, and I thought, oh, it's 371. I forgot to write that down because
Yeah.
that's what I erased. That's what was in my mind. And
Yes.
yeah, I was all kinds of jacked up, man.
All kinds of jacked up.
It happens. It happens when you're sleep deprived. But we are rolling. We are in the correct numbers now. It's episode 373, dude. We got a pretty damn full board this week.
Yeah, which is good because I felt like last week we just bullshitted the entire time. You know, there wasn't much to talk about.
Was there not?
I don't remember. I mean, it just it seemed like a short episode, and I don't remember us talking about too much.
I felt like we did talk about a lot. Well, we actually had a lot on there, but
Oh, we got more today. That's
we
for
got
damn
more
sure.
today, including wrestling talk. We got a lot of movie talk, man. Look at all that crap up there. We got some toy talk. We're going to discuss Spring Skirmish a little bit, which is coming at you this weekend.
Yes, so by the time this drops, it'll have already aired. So if you haven't watched it, you sure as hell better.
And, of course, we have officially started our new tournament, Marvel versus DC,
Yes.
which is very appropriate with DC making like a late-in-the-game comeback on the movie world, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're all excited about that.
I am, yeah.
You're a DC guy, though.
I am just because I know the characters. I mean, I like Marvel too. That's not a knock on Marvel. It's just I've always been a DC guy.
He's always been a DC guy from the beginning. I didn't even write this up there, but we just watched the new Suicide Squad trailer.
Yes.
You know what's funny is when that came out, a lot of people were like, "Oh my god!" I walked out of that movie.
I liked it.
I didn't hate it. I wouldn't say that I was like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen," but it wasn't bad.
I just think people are too picky. You know, that's what I think. Because it's not like it's an entertaining movie. It might not be great, it might not be good, but it's entertaining.
I think it depends on what you're looking for in a movie. And I remember thinking this is kind of when my eyes were opened, is when I heard people dogging Venom. Because Venom's not Marvel Studios, right?
Right.
It's Sony.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I'm like, well, this is kind of what I thought it would be.
Yes.
Like, this is pretty good. It's got comedy. It's got some cool action. It's got great effects.
Yeah.
It's an anti-hero. It's pretty much what I'm looking for in a Venom film.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking that it's going to be like a Martin Scorsese directed epic.
I mean, exactly. I mean, these movies aren't meant to be the greatest films ever made.
Right. It's a comic book movie.
Right.
It should be, like you said, it should be fun.
Yes, and I thought Suicide Squad was fun. I mean, just same way that I thought like all the Batman movies that recently came out, or the Batman, Superman, and the original Justice League. Even the original Justice League, I thought was a fun movie.
You know what's weird is we're going to dive into the Snyder Cut here in a little bit, but I actually never finished the Justice League movie.
It wasn't bad.
Now that I think about it, I'm sure the Snyder cut was a lot better, though.
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh, miles ahead of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, that movie I think was plagued with what happened with Zack Snyder's daughter, and how he had started filming it, but then someone else finished it, and they used different. It's a plagued project.
Sure.
At
Absolutely.
that point,
Yeah.
and so a lot of people are saying like if Zack Snyder had the ability to do this like he thought, this would have been a lot better. And I kind of tend to agree now.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
And so I feel like DC has kind of had this weird thing where they're having a hard time finding their footing.
Yes.
But it's not; these movies aren't bad. Wonder Woman was great. Aquaman was great. I haven't actually seen Wonder Woman 84, so I can't say on that one.
I haven't watched it either. I've heard that it's okay.
Yeah, and like I haven't seen. I saw Shazam. That was good.
I liked Shazam a lot. Yeah.
There was another one that came out. I haven't seen Birds of Prey.
I liked that one a lot
But,
too.
but
Yeah.
again, I heard it was good.
I like that
so
one a
it's
lot.
like, but again, I think it's because it's not. There sometimes the epicness doesn't follow like the Marvel Phase 1, Marvel Phase 2.
Right, and I think people need to not think of DC as that.
Right.
It's let them do standalone films. I mean, let each one of these movies have their own particular universe, and if they can somehow get them all to the same point at some point, then fine. But
Right.
yeah, stop comparing it to the Marvel Cinematic Universe because it is not that at all.
Yeah, but let it be its own thing, and kind of a little. There's some pretty dark elements.
Yeah, Justice League.
I mean, you got Batman dropping an F-bomb.
Justice League. Yeah, there were a few F-bombs in that movie. Justice League was a pretty dark film. I mean, most of the Batman films are since the Christopher Nolan movies.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty dark film, for sure.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it, so we'll dive into that here in a little bit. Before we do that, we got a little bit of wrestling talk, so what do you say we dive into it here?
Let's do it.
Well, here I am again, talking a little pro wrestling while Breaker and Bane take a little break, cracking them Bang energies. Well, listen to me, you two sons of bitches. Get ready to talk wrestling. Stone Cold out. Oh, hell yeah.
Thanks, Stone Cold.
Shout out to Stone Cold.
Well, Big Underscore Bane, some big news here. Eric Bischoff and Kane and actually the Great Khali now. I didn't even write him down, but he was also announced as part of being a part of the 2021 WWE Hall of Fame.
The Great Khali.
Yeah, the Great Khali.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're a big Great Khali fan.
I mean, I'm very indifferent about that guy.
Notwithstanding, I'm glad Kane is going in.
Absolutely, yes.
I'm glad Eric Bischoff. I think he
Yes.
deserves to go in.
Yes.
Molly Holly. I mean, I guess this year they're doing the 2020 and the 2021 Hall of Fame. And also Batista announced he's going to be in Australia filming. And so he can't be a part of this. So they're going to wait until he can be a part of a Hall of Fame where he can adequately accept his award.
Okay.
Which I'm like, hey,
That's
good,
fine.
Good for them. You know?
Great Khali, though. Good God. They're not running out of people just yet, are they?
Apparently, another big rumored name is Rob Van Dam for this year.
Totally fine with that. Tommy Dreamer is another one that should.
Yeah, but yeah, Great Khali. It's
Yeah.
gotta be a politically motivated move, right?
Right, because he's Indian or whatever.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just assuming.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I guess you could say, well, he was a world champion, but he was only around for a couple of years, wasn't he? If that.
He was around longer than you think. He just didn't. He never really did much. So he debuted in 2006, and of course, I remember him from The Longest Yard, right?
Yeah,
This big giant guy, and he beats up the Undertaker. You're like, okay, but then he has that match with the Undertaker, and you're like, this guy can't barely walk to the ring,
Right.
And he was always kind of like a fixture for every Royal Rumble because he's a monstrous human being. But yeah, he's never really done too much.
You know what just popped in my head? What if this is a slap in the face to Christian?
You know what? It could be.
I wouldn't put it past WWE, but I mean, good Lord. I just, Christian can't get in the Hall of Fame, but gosh dang, let's get Great Khali up in there.
Strange things have happened. I mean, I wouldn't at all think that that's not possible.
Yeah, especially now. I mean, good grief.
Yeah. Apparently, he's gonna have his first match on Dynamite in next week.
Next week, yeah, I saw the promo. It's going to be him and
Kazarian, right?
Kazarian, yeah.
That'll be good.
That'll be a really good match, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, this kind of tells a story that he's probably going to be wrestling more than just pay-per-views. Which I'm awesome. I think that's great.
Yeah, Kazarian did a good job of kind of getting me invested in that match, and
Kazarian's a hell of an underrated talent.
he really is. And he said something at the end of that promo. He's like, "You busy Monday nights?" No, obviously you're not. And then he said, "Watch my match on Monday night." And he's like, 7 years is a long time to be out of the ring. And then just walked away. And I was like, "Oof."
Yeah,
I was like, "That's good."
it's good stuff. Speaking of AEW, what about that freaking lights out unsanctioned match between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, man?
Yeah, I of course didn't watch it. I was busy that night, but yeah, I've heard a lot of good things. The internet was a buzzing about that match.
Thumbtacks, blood. It was a brutal match.
Yeah, I did watch her promo though from this week.
I've heard, and yeah, she kind of called out Mick Foley.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Britt Baker's one of those people where maybe you don't think she's the talent that she actually is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you think, oh, she's a pretty girl.
Right.
Well, she can wrestle pretty decently, but like you don't, and she's a dentist full time. So this is just a hobby for her.
Yeah.
You don't really think like, oh, wow, she's legit.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of like, man, damn, Jeremy, let's get this girl an action figure.
Right.
What are we doing here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, get her an action figure. I mean, she obviously this is probably a start to a big push for her.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm anxious to see where it goes. I mean, Britt Baker's, she's one of the most attractive women on that roster, but she can go. I mean, her and Thunder Rosa proved it last week, and I've always been a huge Thunder Rosa fan.
Right.
So I mean, from what I heard, it was an amazing match, and I've only seen a couple clips, but yeah, good stuff.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see the future. I mean, I think that's what's cool about AEW is you can bring in all these names, but yet your homegrown people still kill it.
Yeah.
From time to time, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Britt Baker's still here,
Yep.
Like, did we forget about her? Like, let's not do that because she's killing it right now.
Yes.
I think that's awesome. Another interesting news, Andrade, excuse me, asked for his release. We talked about that last week. Mm-hmm. Didn't get it.
Yes.
And we thought, they're not letting this guy go. And now he has gotten it out of nowhere. Apparently, rumor has it, his real life fiance, Charlotte, kind of put the company up against the wall a little bit.
Yeah.
And I've heard rumors. I don't know if it was like, let him go or I quit, or I've even heard like, well, if you don't let him go, I'm setting out WrestleMania. I don't know what actually was said or done, but they let him go.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of promotional stuff featuring Charlotte was removed.
Yes.
So that kind of something happened.
Yeah, and I know originally it was supposed to be her and Asuka, wasn't it? For the championship.
That's what it was looking like.
And I believe I think it's going in a different direction now.
Asuka and Rhea.
Asuka and Rhea, yeah. So I mean, she can miss out on the WrestleMania payday. I mean, but good for her for sticking by her man.
Well, and that's led people to thinking, do you think she'll be next to leave?
Her Papa is an NWA man through and through.
Yes, he is.
He might have shown up in WWE, and I know Charlotte, that's the only place she's been, but Papa was a territory guy. He wasn't a WWE guy. So I think she is one that could absolutely leave and go to AEW, go to New Japan, go to NWA, go wherever the hell she wants and boost the credibility of that company.
I like that you just start calling Ric Flair Papa for some reason.
Yeah, Papa Rick.
Well, no, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if she showed up somewhere.
I would love it because honestly, I'm tired of Charlotte and WWE.
Well, I think sometimes you need that fresh scenery, right?
Yes.
You need to be, like, to me, Christian Cage now showing up in AEW is like, oh, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
What's going to happen here?
Yeah.
And
Here's a question I have, though. Does she get to keep the Flair name?
I would think so.
You think so?
Well, damn, I was about to say he's always been.
Cody Rhodes wasn't able to keep Rhodes for years.
Yeah, but her last name is Flair. It's just spelled differently.
Well, yeah, and maybe she would just have to spell it the original way. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's true. So, yeah, maybe.
I mean, she could also Flare, right?
Right, yeah.
I mean, if she wanted to.
Yeah, that's true.
And I assume Charlotte would be out of the question. She should just be Ashley Flair, but
yeah,
I don't think that would matter.
I don't know. No, it wouldn't matter at all because it's her.
Right. Yeah. And it's one of those things like how much, and this is if she leaves. I don't know. I don't even know if wrestling's going to be in her future, to be honest. I could see her being in movies.
Oh, yeah. She could be a huge action star.
Yeah. So it is what it is. Who knows? But Andrade has officially left. That's kind of opened up possibilities of AEW talk. And then, of course, Zelina Vega was released a while back, so that pairing could be reformed.
Yep.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I hate that when everyone gets released, they're like, oh, they're going to AEW.
Yeah, I get that. But right now, I mean, what else do you got?
You got Impact.
Right.
You got New Japan and Ring of Honor.
But
what's the big one? It's AEW.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, when we talk about money, I mean,
Television.
AEW is the only one that's going to compare.
Right.
I mean, I would love to see Andrade back in New Japan, but I mean, is he legitimately going to do that with A, his fiance being in America,
right,
and B, his financials? You know what I mean?
Who knows?
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, it's like, what if one of these companies making him an offer? He's like, okay,
yeah.
Money talks always.
Yeah.
The Fiend has re-debuted in the WWE. I know you're a big Fiend fan. So
I am.
What do you think of this look?
It took me a while to warm up to it. I even posted on Twitter like, God, I hope this is a one-time thing. But I think the lighting kind of was really messing with me. Like it made it look, I don't know, just kind of
Ivan Ooze.
Yeah, it was a little weird. But then, I saw the promo pic for him where he actually has good lighting. I'm like, ooh, that kind of looks badass. Yeah. And not really sure about the gear just yet. It kind of looks like he stole Roman Reigns' vest and just put it over a shirt,
Yeah.
It's a little bizarre, but I don't know. I mean, I know characters need to grow and they need to advance, but I'm not completely sold on this new look. But at the same time, it's the effing Fiend. So,
well, I'm just sitting there thinking like, oh man, 2022, we're gonna have a hell of a new Elite figure,
right?
That's how I kind of view this.
Here's one thing that I'm curious to know is when the Fiend comes out for his entrance at Mania, will the Lantern still be the old Bray Wyatt or will it be the old Fiend?
Oh,
that's a random little thought, but I was like, that'd be interesting.
And that may be exactly what they're thinking because I mean, he could kind of reinvent his whole look every year.
He could. Well, and my thing is like, I don't really want him to go the Kane route and just have a new look all the time. Like, I know again, characters need to grow and adapt and things like that, but like, I feel like Kane's look got worse and worse over the years and not really better. Mm-hmm. I still think the original look of Kane is like the best look he ever had.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And so
I actually really like that metal mask he wore briefly in like 2012.
Oh, kind of over the mask. Yeah, I like
almost
that.
Like a welder's hood. That was kind of cool, but he didn't keep that long.
Right. But then I know we're getting off topic, but Kane was somebody who started bothering me once he like had his head shaved because he would wear a wig underneath the mask. And I'm like, why don't they just recreate the mask to go over his bald head and like have the design and everything almost like a luchador mask?
Sure.
Like, or like Ray's mask where he's got the straps in the back. Like, why would they why does he have to have a wig underneath? Because it looks so campy and terrible.
Yeah. Like, because he's wearing the mask, why does he have to have long hair down?
Right. So that was one thing that always bothered me about like the newest version of Kane. But as far as the Fiend goes, man, like huge fan of the Fiend. I love the fact that he's still got Sister Abigail, but he has the mandible claw. Love that. I mean, he's a great character.
I don't know if you saw, but they zoomed in on his hands and like he saw the hurt heel gloves.
But they're like burn off.
They're all burn off.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I mean, I think bottom line, Bray's a very creative guy.
Yes.
And I think we are seeing a new version. And again, that's cool, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we got a lot of movie talk this week. So Big Underscore Bane, what do you say we dive into it here?
Let's do it.
This is Breaker and Bane up at the movies, yeah. This is Breaker and Bane up at the movies, yeah. This is Breaker and Bane up at the movies, yeah. This is Breaker and Bane up at the movies, yeah. Alright, fellas. Go ahead and take it from here. What you got now?
Well, I'll tell you what we got now. Big Underscore Bane. So this is one of the most interesting things because we had talked about this a while back, and I'm going to kind of jump on the topics in a different direction here. But so Black Widow, we knew was supposed to be released in May. Mm-hmm. And of course, it was supposed to be released in May of 2020.
Yes.
They move it 1 year to May 2021. This has kind of been a what killed Disney Plus for me initially. It's not their fault. Obviously with all the COVID stuff, it's like I subscribe because I want this Marvel stuff.
Right.
Give it to me. Give me what I want.
Right.
And basically, it didn't happen for a year. Now WandaVision's rolled out, Falcon Winter Soldier's rolled out, which we'll talk about here in a second. But they announced Black Widow has now been officially pushed to July. I believe July 9th, they said. But will release in theaters and Disney Plus the same day. But on Disney Plus will be under a premium price of $29.99
Okay.
as a one-time purchase. But from what I understand, you always have it at that point.
Yeah.
Kind of a theater at home viewing. This is what you've been asking for.
Yes, I want, and it's funny. I listened to an episode of Fully Posable the other day where Scott was basically saying the exact opposite. But I want the movie theaters to go away, and I want new movies to be immediately able to stream at home. And if it costs a premium price, $30, whatever, I'm willing to pay for that, because $30 is a hell of a lot cheaper than even just taking a single date to a movie theater.
Yes.
And
Do you think people, and I'm not like throwing this at Scott necessarily, but do you think people are romanticizing the movie theater?
I think so. I mean,
And here's why I say this. My sister, I told her this. She goes, "Oh, that's awful. It's going to kill the theaters."
bye.
Well, and that's the thing is, I think she and many others romanticize the movie theater.
My wife is one that does the same thing. She was like, she keeps telling me like, I can't wait till they open back up, or until she feels comfortable going. She's like, I love going to the theater. I'm just like, no, it sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, you legit spend upwards of $100 to go once you get the snacks and all that crap, and then if you eat beforehand, and then you go, you sit, you pay all this money to go sit in a theater, which it's nice to have a huge screen that takes up an entire wall to see a movie, but then you have freaking Joe Schmo 3 rows down who won't shut the hell up. Mm-hmm. You have the teenagers like right down the row from you who are on their cell phone the entire time. You have the baby 2 rows up that's like crying all of a sudden. And it's a miserable experience. And why experience that when I can stay in my PJs, pop a like 99-cent bag of popcorn, and just enjoy it myself?
Well, again, I think when we talk about the movie theater, we don't oftentimes remember the bad parts you just explained.
Yeah.
We think about getting to go, seeing all the posters,
Right.
the video games, smelling the fresh popcorn,
Yeah.
all that shit. And I think what's happened now is we did an energy shot, right? Did COVID kill the theater?
Yeah.
And I think in a way it kind of did. Now, here's how I also look at it. If you are this nostalgic about a movie theater, then you are this nostalgic about a video rental place. And there's no way those will ever come back.
Right.
I mean, I know Steve from PPW has said before he thinks in a nostalgic sense that they possibly could. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and I understand that. But the way digital streaming works, I don't know how one could ever come back.
No, because I mean,
They existed because that's how we got our movies.
that was the only way to get them. Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, now, like, I have a DVD player strictly for the fact that like there's home videos and things like that, but it's not hooked up to my TV. You know what I mean? Like, and how many people that are around our age still have a DVD player?
Go to Walmart and try to find one.
Right.
Remember how big that section used to be?
Yeah.
Not that many now.
It's tiny, if they even have them anymore. And it's a dead technology, and it's the final form of physical media. And it's just one of those things like you have to move on. Mm-hmm. Imagine if like, your parents were like, never getting rid of these 8-track players.
Right.
We need to bring 8-tracks back. It's like, no.
Well, it's like I've heard people who like records.
Right. And vinyls have made a comeback for the nostalgic side of it.
But I understand that, but it's like you can't play that shit in your car.
Exactly. And like my kid goes out and he buys all these records, but he never plays them because it's a pain in the ass to play them because A, the speaker's too loud. It annoys the hell out of everybody else in the house.
Right.
B, like you have to worry about like putting the needle in the exact right place or else it'll scratch everything. And it's just everything about it is like a pain in the ass. Like, okay, well, why don't you just download it on freaking iTunes?
They had that shit on YouTube.
Right.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Stream it.
And it's like there's no reason to waste your money on stuff like that when it is a dead technology.
Right.
Not to mention records, just for the record's sake, they are like $30 to $40.
Right.
It's like for an album, F that.
Well, I think it's because it's fun to buy.
Right.
It's a fun thing to collect. It's a fun thing to, I got it on vinyl, you know.
Right. But it's a little pretentious, though, if we're being honest.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, without a doubt. So it's one of those things, but I mean, everybody's different. But like I said, I'm looking at it from just my perspective. If I wanted to go watch Black Widow in the theater, which if there was a movie I would want to go see, that would be it.
Sure. Yeah.
And, you know, the movie theaters, that's another thing. They're only open on the weekends now.
You damn near got a theater screen in your house, though, now, pal.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like if I were to go to the theater, that's what, $10, $12?
Right.
And I'm spending $20 on snack, that's $30.
Right. Yeah.
So I could buy that, and then, like you said, a 99-cent thing of popcorn.
Yeah. I mean, Jiffy Pop is like $3.99 for a pack of 12. You know? I mean, Orville Redenbacher, you sons of bitches.
I'm getting some extreme butter action.
Dude, there is a Jolly, I think it's like
Jolly Time, Blasto butter.
That is the best popcorn. It tastes like movie theater popcorn. And that, if you are using popcorn as an argument for why movie theaters should stay open, okay. That is the one upside. Because even cold movie theater popcorn, it's like, this is pretty good.
Well, you know what's funny is I remember the last time I ordered popcorn at a movie theater, and I've talked about this before, but me and my dad saw Halloween in 2018, which is crazy to think that was that long ago. But they gave us like old popcorn.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, I'm not a complainer by nature.
Right.
But holy shit, we spent $20 on this shit.
Right. It should be warm.
It should be fresh.
Yeah.
You know, come on.
But I bet you still ate the whole damn thing.
Gosh dang right. Yeah. Until it was so salty I couldn't eat it anymore, you know. But yeah, Black Widow on Disney Plus. So I mean, I think I'll definitely be going this route. I think
yeah.
I mean, that's kind of why HBO Max I think is doing so well right now.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, man, HBO Max could legit be like, hey, it's an extra $10 to watch this movie.
Yeah.
You know.
They could.
mean, and most people would be like, okay.
But the thing that got you is it's a 30-day window.
Right.
And so Justice League just came out. Kong and Godzilla, I believe, comes out at the end of the month. Mortal Kombat's in April. So it's like you have to keep subscribed to get both of those.
Here's another thing that I think people don't really think about is, you know, if they kept movie theaters open and kept releasing movies like this, how many people are going to watch it at home and be like, man, I'd love to watch that in the theater?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I could do 4 hours of Justice League in
Not
the theater.
Justice League, but like, you know, that's a mini series, you know, but like a regular movie that's 2.5 hours long, you watch it at home.
You've sent me to the dark side, Bane. You have to understand,
Right.
I'm not going to go watch Mortal Kombat now in theaters.
I know there are people who like still enjoy theaters, but would love to watch it at home so they can actually watch it and then get the full IMAX experience or whatever.
And I do understand that, but when you bring up the crying baby or the dude on the cell phone, like here's the thing: the theaters. I think I'm gonna go Vince McMahon. The theaters screwed the theaters.
Yes,
because for how many years did they not walk up and down those aisles with a flashlight, telling someone, "Hey, get off your phone."
They were.
Hey, quit talking.
They were
Never.
legitimately a monopoly on everything.
Right.
I mean, I know there's different brands, but like. That was the only way you could watch a movie was go to the theater. And yeah, I mean, they could make their own rules. And so unless you're being super disruptive, just having a crying baby or just being on your cell phone, they're probably not going to get on to you about it.
And that's the thing is like, I remember taking my nephew when he was just about 2 to one of the Jurassic World movies when they came out. And he might not even been 2 yet. He was just a baby.
Yeah.
And if he got loud, we walked outside.
Of course.
Him or my dad did. It wasn't that hard to do.
Yeah.
And, because he's a baby.
Of course.
That being said, he was so into the dinosaurs, he was liking it. You
Right,
know? So I don't know. Wasn't that crazy? I don't know. It's weird how I think people have romanticized the theater.
Yep, I agree.
Speaking of that, of course, we got to dive into Justice League, the Snyder Cut. You have been all about this for a very long time. I honestly have not followed the whole DC movie universe. I felt as though it was kind of an afterthought more recently.
Yeah.
And like. The individual movies weren't bad, but I'm just like as a movie series, I'm not as into it as Marvel. But everyone was talking about the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut.
You got to watch it, right?
Huh?
You got to watch it, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And you were very into it.
Sure.
And here's what got me: this movie clocked in at 4 hours and 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Yep.
This goes against everything that you are
Yes.
to sit through a 4-hour film.
Yeah, and I did not. I sat through a 2-hour film 2 nights in a row.
Right. Right. And I had heard initially they were going to do like a 4-part miniseries.
Yes, but which I'm glad they didn't, because there was actually like 6 parts.
Yeah.
And so that would have been really weird.
Yeah, I was wondering that when they hit part 3, and I was like, we're only like an hour and a half in.
Right.
Like, part 3 is going to be long.
Yeah.
But overall, like I dug the movie. I kind of get more where you're putting over Ben Affleck. He does look like Batman.
Yes.
I'm not going to say he's my favorite, but he did well.
He's still my favorite.
He did very well.
You know, jury's up for, what's his face coming up? Patton Oswalt. That's not his name.
I don't think he's Spence from King of Queens. I'll be honest, though, after watching this, I'm kind of disappointed they're redoing it.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn, because I want to see sequels to this.
Well, from what I understand, though, Ben Affleck is showing up in the new Flash movie
Okay.
as Batman. So, I mean, technically, realistically speaking, Batman or Ben Affleck could show up as Batman still in these Justice League movies.
Well, now, is Robert Pattinson 20-year-old Batman and Ben Affleck's 50-year-old Batman?
Maybe.
I mean, I know Pattinson's older than that, but
Yeah, he still looks like a baby.
yeah. So I kind of wonder if that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, which I want Justice League too, and that's the problem with releasing this Snyder Cut is it is a long shot for us to be able to get Justice League 2. And so it's kind of like, damn.
And I don't want to give away anything that people haven't seen it yet, but I do recommend it. It is a long undertaking of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's on HBO Max, of course, but it was fun, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, there are there's plenty of little Easter eggs that could have left things open for sequels, and like really cool sequels.
Mm-hmm.
One seemed very similar to the Injustice story.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things that could have potentially happened, but yeah, I mean,
And then a lot of interesting characters showing up, like Deathstroke. I won't say too much more, but holy shit. Like
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah,
I was
that's
not
awesome.
expecting that.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah.
So I dig it. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's a
Absolutely.
fun viewing.
Yes.
Peacock has officially taken over WWE Network. I signed up. I think we talked about it a little bit last week. I feel like it's a good deal. It's the same price, but you get all the NBC stuff, like Superstore's on there.
Yeah.
You always put over Superstore. I need to watch it now.
Yeah.
And I have the ability to do that, and I think it's fun.
And actually, as we record this, it's last night was the final 2 episodes of the series. So they did like a 1-hour special to wrap
nice.
up the series. So I'm actually really excited to finish that series off.
Yeah, for sure.
You definitely got to check it out. It's fantastic.
So Peacock's a good streaming service. I did start the new Saved by the Bell. I fell asleep watching it, but it looks okay.
It takes a minute to pick up.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It really does.
I'm sure. I did like the scenes with Zach Morris as the governor, just being like a total like
Doofus.
piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like Big Chuck's over there just losing his mind.
Oh, I know he is.
But the Peacock brand obviously takes over the WWE Network. And if you try to get on WWE Network now, it basically just says it's on Peacock.
Hey, get your ass over to Peacock, you lazy son of a bitch.
Yeah. So it's disappointing. Not everything's up there yet, but it is laid out differently. It's a little harder to navigate, I think. However, this is coming under some scrutiny because apparently some edits are happening.
Yeah.
One of them mostly, which isn't really shocking to me, that they edited Roddy Piper at WrestleMania 6. Mm-hmm. Of course, that was the the infamous Hot Rod or Hot Scott promo,
Yeah.
where half of his body is black before he wrestled Bad News Brown. I remember even then thinking that was a little
Weird.
Yeah.
I didn't fully understand what was happening, but
I didn't either, but
I was like, why did he paint his body? Like,
Yeah.
I was confused by it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right there with you.
So anyway, they edited the promo and apparently edited the match out of the show completely. So it's not even a part of WrestleMania 6.
Yeah, because he wrestled in that
He did.
half blackface too.
Yeah, it's I know some people are like, "Oh, good, it shouldn't be on there." Some people are like, "Oh, well, you're erasing history." I don't know. I feel like WWE Network did a really good job of just putting up a warning before stuff would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, this is what's happening.
I know WB has done that with like a lot of the old Looney Tune episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
because things don't age well sometimes.
Right.
What do you think about this? Because like, if they're gonna, my thing is if they're editing this, like, okay, so are they taking away all Chris Benoit matches?
I doubt that.
But you never know.
Yeah, I mean,
He is a murderer.
he is a murderer, but like Chris Benoit on screen was not. You know, I mean, he was just a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I I wouldn't doubt if it's still hard to find Chris Benoit matches like it was on the network.
Right.
But, you know, if you know where he's at, then, I mean, it'd probably still be there. However, I could see things like, you know, the bra and panties matches going away, which doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm not Googling that shit, you know, trying to find out where they are. But,
even then, and, you know, we were teenagers, probably the horniest point of your life.
yeah.
Even then, I remember thinking that was weird.
Well, I mean...
And I'm not saying that I didn't hate seeing Stacy Keibler in her thong, but
it didn't bother me. But
Right.
like, it also wasn't one of those things where,
okay, it wasn't like, oh yeah,
right?
Here we
I
go.
wasn't like recording it and like rewinding it and pausing. You know what I mean? Like,
Now, to be fair, if I was sitting front row,
I was snapping pictures.
well, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I think I have a couple of pictures of Tori Wilson at one of the live events from like when she had one of those bra and panties matches. Because of course, a perverted little 16-year-old.
Of course.
You know?
Big underscore bang. That's how we got the name.
Damn right.
But I don't know. So like, where are these edits going to stop? Where are they going to continue on to? Like, how much do we take away?
I mean,
Do we take away all of Austin's middle fingers?
No.
Do we take away all his cuss words? I mean, I don't know.
you know, I think it stops with like the racial shit and probably the dehumanizing of women. You know.
Yeah, like Trish barking like a dog and stuff.
I think that's probably where it stops. I mean, if you look at Peacock's stuff, they have plenty of nudity on some of their original content. They have plenty of F words. I mean, I don't think they're as worried about that as they are the social justice shit. You know, like you know, I mentioned to you that one thing that kind of goes under the radar is when Heart Foundation, DX, and Nation of Domination were in this like little triple tango like feud, and you know, Nation of Domination went back to their locker room and saw the N-word painted on the wall. You know, that's something that doesn't really get talked about very often, but like it was a big deal. And
Well, that was kind of what their whole group was built upon.
right.
And at the time, I didn't really understand that totally.
I remember that episode specifically, and I was like, holy shit, like that's crazy. I think they blurred it out. Like,
They did, yeah.
But I mean, it was a wild episode.
Because I think DX did it, but
they blamed it on the Heart
Hearts,
Foundation. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, stuff like that. But like I was saying off the air, they could have put the nation as pussies.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's still,
you didn't have to use the N-word.
It's still a controversial word.
Right.
It's still a word you can bleep out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Didn't have to use that word.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just kind of it's interesting to see what's going to happen, but hopefully, I mean, like I think the blackface appearance, because there's a blackface Office episode that's been edited out too.
You're talking about the it was in one of the later episodes, the
like
Belschnickel episode.
Yes,
and it was very quick, you know, which I think that was edited out on Netflix, wasn't it? Like they just showed him kind of like
I think so,
but
I'm sure it is
like wiped off.
I'm sure it is with Peacock too. Well, they say it like, well, they have this one character, he wears full blackface, and Stanley's
Right.
like, nope,
Yep.
not doing it, you
Yeah.
know. And then next thing you see him like wiping it off.
Yes.
but it's like on his neck a little bit, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know, like, but I mean, at the same time, like Ric Flair like forcibly kisses Miss Elizabeth at WrestleMania 8. Is that taken off?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's going to be weird to see where that line is and what they cross and stuff.
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier has officially debuted on Disney Plus, a 6-episode series. I watched the first episode. I dug it, man. It was awesome. It was really fun.
Yeah, I ended up falling asleep through it. The wife really liked it though, so I mean, that's good.
Dude, it's so hard to stay awake these days, is it not?
I am an old bastard. No getting around it.
There's a drop for you.
Once it gets to be 8 o'clock, you know, I turn into Sleepy Boy Bane.
Yeah, it happens for sure. Yeah. Well, the new episode will be dropping this week. Of course, we haven't watched that as we record this, but I'm looking forward to it. I dig the once a week format, man. I think it makes it more fun to.
Yeah, you have something to look forward to.
Right, more fun to get into, and also the new Mighty Ducks episode drops. So I think it's cool that same day, 2 episodes of 2 different shows.
Absolutely, that's the kind of stuff I like.
Did you see that picture floating around of the original Mighty Ducks guys in their jerseys?
No.
Yeah, it's damn. A lot of them did not. They did not age well, I guess. It's kind of just like, wow, there's a reality slapping you right in the face.
Yeah, well, I hear being a child actor is kind of hard on people.
Apparently so.
I mean,
yeah.
Look at Mary Kate and Ashley. They ain't as pretty as their sister.
That is true. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Also, a new documentary floating around on Netflix, The Last Blockbuster.
Yes.
And apparently kind of chronicles one of the last few Blockbuster stores, because there are some still.
Yeah.
Of course, I heard they went from like 6,000 to like 12. So a lot of shut down. It's kind of cool seeing the whole video store. And this kind of goes back to what we were talking about with theaters, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool seeing how the video store was. It shows the lady, and she's got like the bin of like delivery drop-offs. She goes, oh, it used to be all the way out to here, like completely overflowed. Now it's like less than half full.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy to me to think of like, would I even go rent a movie now?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I feel like that's just such a weird part of my past.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It was a product of the time, you know.
Yeah. Well, like, and you even said like a DVD player. Like, number one, you're going to need that,
Right.
to even rent it. I mean,
Big time.
you can rent them on Vudu and stuff.
Sure.
But like, it's like not. It's not the same as going out to the video store, renting the movie. This is due back in 2 days. Blah 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 and all that stuff. And
I still, and this is why I'm curious to watch this, because I still feel like Blockbuster did themselves a huge disservice by not creating their own version of Vudu before Vudu really took off.
well, they did. See, I didn't watch all of this. I was dozing off, so I did turn it off. Kind of like you.
Right,
Know,
right.
But one thing they did say was they had a chance to buy Netflix early on, and they didn't do it.
Yeah. And they should have.
Yeah, that being said, like, it was a disc by mail service.
Yeah, but at that time, that was hot. That was hot as hell.
Dude, I remember signing up for that shit.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
And there was no late fees, but you couldn't rent anymore until you brought that one back, or you sent that one back.
Well, I remember, like, I remember initially it was one disc at a time. Then I realized, like, oh, if I do two at a time, I get them both in the mail, watch one, send it back, watch the second one, send it back. By the time that second one, or that first one is back, they send me a third one.
Right.
So it continues that cycle,
Right.
always.
Yeah.
And, I mean, of course, there's also times where I, like, realize, oh, I've had this Netflix movie for, like, 2 months. I should probably return that now.
Yeah.
So it was for the time, that was, and they had such a huge selection.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember renting like TV shows on DVD that way. That show Lost was real big at the time, and I wanted to watch it. And I remember I rented disc 1 and disc 2
Yeah.
from the first season, which was awesome. And then I remember watching like the first season, like, oh, this is great. And so I'd get like disc 3. And, it was really cool how it worked. So it was an amazing service. And of course, once I got to the streaming and all that stuff, it just kind of took over to what it has become now. But
Right.
at that time, I wouldn't have necessarily thought that either.
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you, man. I feel like Netflix is kind of on the downhill slope. I mean,
They are.
they've kind of lost a lot of their licenses. They're focused on originals, and a lot of those originals really ain't that good.
Indeed. We talked about that kind of off the air too, like with Peacock and Hulu and not WW, but Amazon,
Yeah.
HBO Max. It's like, do I need Netflix anymore?
Right. Peacock has quickly become my favorite streaming service.
What I do when I get a streaming service is I go through and like, all right, what do I want to watch? And Peacock's has a lot that I want to go
Yes, they really do.
So-
And Amazon is one of those that kind of flies under the radar, which is really unfortunate because they have a lot of good shows that don't make it past one season because it's easy to forget about Amazon Prime Video.
through. Right.
But I don't know. That's a whole nother story.
But HBO Max has all the DC stuff, which is awesome.
Yes, and I'm curious to know if any of that stuff is going to come back. I really enjoyed that Harley Quinn cartoon.
I think it is.
Is it?
From what I understand, it is. I don't know.
I really enjoyed that, so I'm hoping that does continue. Titans was a good show.
I heard Doom Patrol was really good. I didn't really get into that.
I didn't get into that one too much, but yeah, I mean, a lot of those shows are really good. So, I mean, hopefully they do make a comeback now that they're on HBO Max.
I hope so. It lists that there is a new season of Titans coming in 2021.
Awesome.
Doesn't say if it's HBO Max. I would assume that it is.
Well, I would feel like it'd have to be because there's not another DC app anymore.
Right. So hopefully. But yeah, I think it's cool though.
Yeah.
Kinda keep them all in one spot.
Absolutely.
Well, we're gonna score band. We got some toy talk to dive into. What do you say we dive into it here?
Let's do it.
Here we go, open the box. It's the part of the show where Breaker and Bane do a bit of toy talk. Here we go, open the box. It's the part of the show where Breaker and Bane do a bit of toy talk.
All right. Well, we got a couple of pieces of toy talk to dive into this week. Big_Bane. I sent you on Instagram this picture, NECA revealed the Goliath figure from the Gargoyles cartoon. NECA obviously does amazing work. A lot of people are really putting over this figure. I know you're not a huge NECA guy per se. You seem to be a pretty big Gargoyles fan. Mm-hmm. What do you think of this?
I really dig these, man.
My friggin' wingspan is incredible.
Yes, yeah, those look sick, man.
So they have said that its shipping looks like July, and they plan to do a full line of these.
Okay.
So I don't know about you, but like to me, like just getting a single Goliath figure, like, oh, that's cool. But I kind of like if it's just gonna be him, I'm like, eh. But if it's a full line, I'm more into it.
Yeah, I feel like I would probably need the line.
What do you think, though, man?
I dig it. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna buy it.
No,
but I think it looks great.
Gargoyles is actually a cartoon I've always planned to rewatch on Disney Plus that I haven't.
Yeah,
and I don't know if you're that way, but I'm like, oh, I want to watch Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I want to watch Darkwing Duck. Mm-hmm. And it's just
Gargoyles was such a serious cartoon, though. I feel like I did rewatch it, and it was hard for me to continue watching it because it was like there's not a whole lot of funny parts in it. It's such a serious, dark cartoon,
kind of like X-Men or something.
Yeah, and it's like this is good, but it's like I don't know. When I watch cartoons, I feel like I need to laugh a little bit. You know,
you need a little bit of goofy humor,
right?
I understand, but I mean, it's different.
Yes, it absolutely is.
So last week we dove into the NJPW Okada figure and kind of got your thoughts on it. This week I have here Will Ospreay. This is actually the one figure of the set that I was very willing to pass up on, but I decided to go ahead and do the full first wave. I'm not the biggest Will Ospreay fan, but I thought, well, maybe I should get the whole wave since they're all coming out. What do you think there, man?
Okay. I dig it. He has... What does he got here? Does he have... Does he have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Does he have 6 sets of hands altogether?
There's a bunch of hands.
Good, or is it maybe that's just 5 and they just displayed them differently? But got 2 heads. I like the fact that his head is actually different.
Yep.
He's got a freaking sword, which would come in handy if you also want to do a crossover with Ninja Turtles. I'm guessing that does he walk out with a sword in Japan?
I think so. Yeah.
He's got the Junior Cup Championship. Is that what that is?
Yeah, he's got the trophy. Then he's also got the junior heavyweight title on. It's underneath his ring jacket there.
Okay, man, that's. I mean, I'm sure that to me is kind of a miss to have the jacket on over the title. Like if it was on the pegs or something like that, you wouldn't even know.
Because you don't see it.
Yeah. Right. So
maybe the title should be displayed like over his shoulder or something.
Well, or just even kind of similar to how the trophy is displayed, like just apart from him. But the fact that it was online and everybody knows what you're getting, then it's not a big deal. But yeah, I mean, I think the figure looks great.
The slipcase is an interesting concept, and Super 7 does this with a lot of their stuff. And initially, I guess I didn't really look at it too like, oh, that's great. But seeing it in person, man, that definitely adds a lot of value to me.
Yeah,
that type of case. But
I am really appreciative of the fact that the box is pretty MOC, and if you're planning to keep these in here, then that's great. I like on the bottom it says adult collectible, not a toy.
Yeah.
So you better not play with these, you figure photo guys.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if they're technically playing with them. I think it's more
they're setting them up. I know.
Right. But I mean, it's kind of interesting how toys have become like adult collectibles now.
Yeah.
They're not so much like toys.
I wonder if Elites say that on the bottom of them too.
I don't know. I'm actually going to pick this up and look at it real quick. But yeah, adult collectible, not a toy.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I've never seen that on a figure before.
I wonder why that language specifically.
I don't know. That kind of makes me wonder if they are fragile.
Like they would break?
Yeah.
And that may be why they put that on there.
Maybe.
Because it's like, if you play with this will break.
Yeah. Which if you're paying, what, $50 for that figure?
Yeah, like 45.
I would be a little pissed off if I, pulled it out, played with it.
Hell yeah, you would be.
Yeah.
And to be fair, they look like they're pretty well made, so I don't think they would break. But I think what they're saying is like they're not the durability of like a kid's toy. Where like my nephew is so rough on toys.
Yep.
it would make me like if I got him these, which I wouldn't obviously, but and he's like, I'm like, hey, easy.
It's like that bootleg Turbo Man,
Exactly.
It just falls apart right after you get it out of the box.
Exactly. So anyway, that wraps up our toy talk. What do you say we dive into some spring skirmish talk?
Let's do it. So we have announced all but 2 matches, and I know as we record this, spring skirmish has already happened. But we got to touch on these 2 matches, Breaker.
Let's touch on them because people need to know. They're on the edge of their seat.
I know they are.
And they need to know.
So 2 matches that we had not mentioned that were going to take place at spring skirmish was a tornado tag with Wreck My Podcast and Doing the Favor. Cam and Joe of Wreck My Podcast. And Doing the Favor, this is a rematch from last month. And then, of course, now that I'm saying this out loud, I kind of feel like we have talked about these.
Maybe we have.
But
I honestly don't remember.
I don't remember either.
It all runs together sometimes.
It does. But then we also have the Die Hard Championship, which is Big Chuck versus Poetic Prophet.
I think we have talked about this, but if not, that's fine. Big Chuck kind of diving into a new division here.
Yes.
But, I mean, he's a big, evil, nasty son of a bitch. I feel like this is right up his alley.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you he ain't going to be swinging no bread loaves of Poetic Prophet. It's going to be hard-hitting action.
Hard-hitting action.
So if you haven't gotten a chance to watch Spring Skirmish yet, I'm not going to we don't need to spoil anything. But, I think it would be great for you to watch it, and I think you would really enjoy it. All the matches on this card are amazing. We have the PHPW Championship with Travis Fowler versus Drew Vinsel. The Tag Team Championship cage match with High Level Enterprise and Fully Posable. The Die Hard Championship that we just mentioned.
And that's our first ever cage match.
First ever cage match.
History.
And then, of course, we had the Chef Special Battle Royal. We had Dmitry Alexandrov facing an opponent of Bill Venus' choosing. And then, of course...
God, I mean, come on.
Right. And then, of course, the Gatekeeper Championship, Dobro versus Aaron Anders.
Big opportunity for Dobro.
Huge opportunity for Dobro. So definitely check out Spring Skirmish if you have not.
It's going to be a hell of an event. Do we want to talk about what we're going to be having in April yet?
April is our big event, Breaker.
It's our big event.
Yeah,
it's boss fight.
Good old boss fight, and we have got.
So some things have been determined. We just don't know. Like we know number 1 contenders. We don't know the champions yet. Well, we will after Spring Skirmish. Here.
Yes, as of this recording, we do. We don't, but by the time this drops, we will. Yeah, a lot of things are going to be decided for boss fight at Spring Skirmish, but there are obviously still some slots to fill in that pay-per-view, and we have definitely some things cooking, and that I think it will be a fun time, especially for things like the Tag Team Championship and that.
Absolutely.
So definitely stay tuned.
For sure. And, of course, we have to dive into some tournament action. We have the Marvel versus DC tournament officially underway, and we did our first matchup, which was a DC matchup.
Yes.
We had Lobo versus Green Arrow. I think Lobo's like one of my favorite like low-key characters. I feel like he's very under the radar.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't know him.
Yeah.
I mean, they do know him, but he's not the most well-known.
Yeah.
And Green Arrow's kind of on that verge of being more well-known, but still kind of underneath.
He's kind of a B-list.
Yeah, but that's the first DC matchup. Big underscore Bane, Lobo wins 57% to 43%, moving on to the semifinals.
Very close.
Very close, but I can't really say I'm shocked by that matchup there.
No, definitely not.
So that means we need to move on to the Marvel side, and I'm going to go. We went top left. Let's go bottom right here.
Let's do it.
Things interesting. So this match will be kind of an X-Men battle: Magneto versus Rogue.
Oof. I'm pulling for Rogue. She was a comic book crush of mine back in the day, and but I gotta.
Was it the accent?
It was the everything. I mean,
hell yeah, cowboy!
By God, and of course I'm pulling for her, but I got to think Magneto is going to take this one.
Dude, low key, Magneto is one of my favorite villains.
Yeah,
dude can control metal.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
If you're Wolverine, you are effed in the B.
Effed in the B.
Yeah.
You are in trouble, my friend.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling Magneto will take this one. But whoever wins this one will take on the winner of Spider-Man and Nightcrawler.
Oof.
So it's gonna be a tough tournament.
Yeah.
We'll see who who ends up the victor, Marvel or DC. I really honestly couldn't pick.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I can predict the finals, but I feel like I can't predict the winner.
I don't know, man. See, because on the other end of the DC bracket, we got Batman and Zatanna. I feel like it'll be Batman and Lobo.
Yes.
I don't know if you can pick that one either.
I feel like it's got to be Batman.
It's freaking Lobo, though, bro.
Yeah, but Batman has a way to defeat everybody.
True.
I mean, so you know he's been scouting Lobo since before Lobo even showed up on Earth.
Dude, how cool would it be if Lobo was in a movie?
I would love it.
Dude.
If I recall, there was actually talks of him being in a movie, but it never came to fruition.
That's some of the issue I've always had with DC is I feel like they focus on like the main ones. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, give us these characters we've never seen. Give us a Lobo.
Well, and I think they're worried what's going to happen with some of these characters is what happened with Steppenwolf. You know what I mean? They branched out with Steppenwolf, and it's like, who the hell is who's that guy?
But I'm a pretty big comic book fan. I don't know who the hell he was.
Right. But I didn't know Lobo until Injustice.
Well, I knew Lobo before that.
See, I didn't.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's, you know, it's always a risk when you branch out to these under characters, you know.
For sure. But, who knows? But anyway, that'll be our next tournament bracket, so go vote at BBPH918 for either Magneto or Rogue.
Yes.
All right, now before we get into our plugs, Big_Bane, old Tier 1, Travis Fowler, he sent us a little audio clip.
Okay.
And so I'm going to play it for you right now.
Hey guys, it's Travis Fowler, Tier 1. Before we get to the main part of this, I just want everyone to know that Tier 1 is ready. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Anyways, I know that I've got a big match coming up with Drew Vinsel, and I hate to admit this, but Drew is right on one thing. Wendy's fries are the worst. Now, Bane, before you go crazy, like, Wendy's fries are the equivalent of soggy shoestrings that have sat in mud water for days. They take them out of the puddle, throw them in a deep fryer, throw some special quote-unquote sea salt on them because regular salt isn't good enough, and call them fries. And even when they're done, you pick them out, they just fall right over. They're flimsy, they're horrible, they're the absolute worst fries in the world. So as much as it hurts me to admit this, Drew, you are right, but know that coming up, you're going to be dropping that title to old Tier 1 because Tier 1 is ready.
Wow. You know, quick reminder, Tier 1, I booked the effing shows. So I'd mind your P's and Q's if I were you, pal.
I mean, what do you say? Soggy shoestrings that are sitting in mud water? Yeah. I mean, like, that's pretty descriptive.
Yeah, and not accurate.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. But, I mean, at the end of that message, the biggest thing we got, I mean, Tier 1 is ready.
Yeah, he's get ready to lose.
Well, we shall see. So, but anyway, we could have a brand new PHPW champion when all is said and done.
Not after that.
Oh, we'll see about that there. Anything else you want to add before we get out of here, man?
You know, I say we just plug it up.
So, of course, if you enjoyed this show, check out our buddies at the Fully Posable Wrestling Figure Podcast. Jeff and Scott drop a new show over there every Sunday. Great dudes. An amazing podcast. Really fun listen.
Absolutely love those guys over there.
Yeah, and Scott, of course, has his side project, Drunk Wrestling History.
Yes.
Which is basically him and his buddy Ed just discussing wrestling while, you know, popping the top on a couple of brewskis or some other form of alcohol.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
And they're not always right, but they are always drunk.
Yep.
Then, of course, Doing the Favor with Eric and Barry. They drop 2 shows a week. They have their Doing the Favor show and DTF Does Sports.
Yep.
Great dudes and a great show. Love talking to those guys over there. Both of them are actually coming up on future episodes of You Know It's Fake, right?
Well, hell yeah.
So that'll be a lot of fun, so check those out. The Positively Pro Wrestling Podcast with Steve and Eric. I love that show. Steve's actually a very big VHS guy. So I'm kind of curious. I'd like to get his thoughts on the last Blockbuster.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a big physical media guy.
Yeah.
And he's talked about that, like when people bashed Peacock, he's like, so I got physical media, can't edit a DVD. And I'm like, good point.
You can sure scratch the hell out of it, though.
Yes, you can. There's a downside of it. Yes, there is. A Ringside Rant with RJ. Check out his show, The Leisure and Lariats podcast with ruthless Ryan Davidson. And then, of course, Elite 8 Showdown with old Big Chuck and Tim.
Old Big Chuck and Tim. Yeah, I got nothing bad to say about them this week.
Really?
Yeah. Psych! No, no, they're good guys. They actually kind of put me over on their podcast last week.
Oh, really? What'd they say?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I only remember the shitty things they say about me.
It's easy to remember the bad stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, no, they're good guys over there this week.
This week, we'll see.
This week.
So they just released an episode today. It's the best McDonald's seasonal item.
I don't eat McDonald's, so I'm kind of out on that one. But
I'm not a big McDonald's guy either. But like there's like the McRib, the Shamrock Shake.
yeah, I've had the McRib once, and I was not a fan. And I'm a huge barbecue guy.
That's not my favorite. But they also have like the like a seasonal pie. I can't remember what it is.
I think it's pumpkin, like pumpkin spice.
Maybe that sounds right.
Yeah,
The Shamrock Shake's pretty damn good.
I've never had that, but I mean, wouldn't surprise me. What is it, like minty or something?
It's like green. I don't know. It's good.
Oh, it's just green. It's green flavor.
Well, hell, I don't know. Is it minty? I guess.
That sounds like
it's McDonald's. Everything tastes the same.
I was gonna say it sounds par for the course for McDonald's.
Well, I mean, like, you look at a McDonald's cheeseburger. That doesn't taste like any other type of cheeseburger I've ever had.
No, it's because I'm pretty sure it's not real meat.
Yeah. So I thought that was an interesting topic for sure for Elite 8 Showdown. Boots to the Face, check out that show. Tales from the Estate with Drew Vinsel and his wife Caitlin. So I forgot to mention this earlier, but I was talking to him about the peanut butter bacon burger from Fat Guys.
Yes.
Because I owe you a back chop.
No, you don't.
I do.
No. I quickly backed out of that.
Well, you did, but I was hoping you'd forget that. Well, to be fair,
and you specifically said it's good, not great.
Right.
So you did not say that you didn't like it.
Well, touche.
You gotta work. I have it in writing, people, that he said it's good, not great. So he's just got to learn to word things. He should have lied and said, "I hate that shit."
Yeah, I guess I could have. Because I mean, realistically speaking, that's a pretty bad bet on your part. Because
I get nothing out of it.
Right.
I was just so
almost like you giving away a gift card if someone finds a figure.
Exactly. Yeah. Terrible. I'm terrible at making bets because it's all for you.
Of course, now that specific burger, you said, "Well, did you get a Thai style?" I said, "No, I did not."
Yeah, and here's the thing: like, I can't. Breaker people out there in podcasting land has the palate of a 12-year-old. So
I absolutely do not.
But I don't expect you to like it even with that, though. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm just messing with you. But
well, I'm not a big pineapple guy.
Well, that's the thing. It's got pineapple. It's got cilantro. It's got
I love cilantro.
It's got fresh jalapenos. It has.
So here's a weird thing. I like the flavor of jalapeno. I don't actually like the pepper.
Really?
I'm not a huge fan of like the consistency of peppers.
Oh.
And that sounds super weird, I know, but it's just something about that. I'm just like, no.
Yeah, and then they also have sriracha on top of the peanut butter.
I do like sriracha.
So it's.
Now, do you put cheese on that?
On the bacon burger?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's cheese on it.
See, on mine, I didn't put cheese because I thought, well, that seems weird with peanut butter.
Oh, yeah.
But so does peanut butter and bacon, I guess.
Right. But it's for me, it's a delicious burger. But I will say the last time though that I had them, and I don't know if they were just out of the fresh cut jalapenos, but they put pickled jalapenos on there.
Oh no!
And it was garbage. I mean, just not that good. So,
so like I can do like jalapenos when they're mixed. Like if I'm doing like a stir fry,
right.
I like them in that.
Yeah.
But it's like I need just by themselves. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, and I
love the flavor, as weird as that seems.
And here's the thing about it is like it's not a once a week burger. I mean, it's
that's going to tear your stomach up.
It's like literally to eat at Fat Guys. That is legit like once every 3 months for me.
Sure,
because the burger is huge.
Do you get the spicy fries?
Yes, I always get the spicy fries. So good. But the fry order is big too. And on top of that, it's about $20 for one person.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
It is not cheap at all. So it's legit like it's a treat to eat there. It is. Not a weekly basis burger, but speaking of Tales from the Estate, he's getting a little bit of heat with me again
Oh, snap.
this week. old Drew, they were ranking their top 5 bread from restaurants.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Drew's number 1 was Olive Garden. His number 1.
If you're expecting me to badmouth a effing
Here's-
Olive Garden breadstick, you are in the wrong. You're in the wrong podcast room,
Here
pal.
is my thing. Olive Garden breadsticks used to be the best in the world. They used to be. But over the years, and maybe it's just ours here in Tulsa, it is garbage. Trash.
Last time I had them, they were good.
They like quit putting the seasoning or whatever, the cheese or whatever they put on there, the Parmesan, whatever it is that they put
They
on
had
there.
it on like when I had it last time.
Every time I've gone there, it's not that way. They're like not fresh. They're stale.
Really?
They are crap.
This will kind of not matter to anyone, but you go to the which one do you go to?
The Utica Square.
That's where we go.
Yeah.
But like I've never had a bad experience with it. I mean, here's my thing with Olive Garden. I'm not a huge fan. I'm paying like $15 for pasta.
Right, because pasta's like literally 99 cents at the grocery store.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just like I get the tour of Italy. It's like $18.
And it is not that much food.
It's not that much food.
And that's like the biggest plate they have is that tour of Italy. And
Right.
it's still not that much
It's
food.
not that much food. And like the breadsticks are good. I'm not a salad guy. Again,
I do love their salad. I will say that is one of my favorite restaurant salads.
So for like the most of my life when I'd go there, my sister, my parents love salad. So I just wouldn't eat it.
Yeah.
And one time we had a waiter like, well, you can get soup instead. I'm like, oh, and their soup is fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's like
I've never had their soup.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
If you're a salad guy, it's probably not better than that, I would
Right.
say, but it's really good. It's like a wedding soup, I think. Maybe I don't know, but it's really really good. And like I'll dip the breadsticks in that soup. Oh my god!
See, one thing that I do like about their breadsticks.
So now his Olive Garden very likely could have way better bread than yours.
And that's the thing is like it's all about. And I'm just kidding when I say he's got heat with me, obviously, but like
I hope he comes and just kicks your ass.
he will. I mean,
Freaking PHPW champion,
right?
bro.
That's why I'm just trying to like let it be known. I'm just kidding, pal. You know.
Yeah.
We just got cut off.
We did get cut off.
Our music, our
The studio's
outro
knocking
music.
on the door. Get out, you stupid sons of
This is
bitches.
like- it's like the No Holds Barred podcast. Like, oh, time to go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Olive Garden, their breadsticks, for me, in my personal experience, has been trash. Now, I believe it was his wife that mentioned Cracker Barrel, like their cornbread and breadsticks.
I'm not a huge fan of that.
I love that. That's
Oh
great.
God, that's not that great at all.
I think it's great.
I like KFC biscuits better than Cracker Barrel.
There is a place here in town that I tried for the first time called, I think it's like Nelson's Buffeteria or something like that. No one outside of here will know what it is, but it is like, it looks like a dump when you walk in there, but holy crap, they got amazing cornbread.
Yeah, well, see, what I don't like about Cracker Barrel, and this is probably a weird thing, everything's cold. Like their bread's cold.
See, again, that's never happened to me.
Like their bread and their butter is always cold,
Well, their butter's cold, yeah.
and I'm just like, it's like hard. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that.
I've never had that happen with me. Charlie's Chicken has amazing rolls, though.
They do. They have very good rolls. There used to be a Logan's Steakhouse that has shut down.
Yes, they used to have amazing
They
rolls,
have amazing rolls. Colton's here in
I've never
town.
eaten at Colton's.
They have pretty good rolls.
Do they?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other. There's a Santa Fe Steakhouse. They have very good bread. I mean, I feel like personally with bread, warm, soft, buttery.
Yeah.
Pretty much all you need.
Like my bread like I like my booty. Warm and soft.
Well, like I've always felt like ice cream pizza. Like even the worst pizza's not